I wanted to make this video today because I've just seen so many bad examples of how people are acting, and in the media, people are being very negative. And just in general, I wanted to kind of highlight somebody that I look up to, and I think that is a good example for people to follow and to idolize rather than people who are being selfish and negative and superficial. So today I want to talk about Yasiin Bey. I've been a fan of his for a while now, and I've been looking up on YouTube any interview of him that I could find just to learn how he sees the world, how he thinks, his views on things, and I'm just trying to learn from him and kind of take his views and digest them. And I wanted to share that with you today. And I'm going to be kind of sharing with you some things that he says that I think is very intelligent and I think more people need to hear. I'm going to give a quick background on him first for those who may not know that much about him. So his birth name is Dante Terrell Smith, and his rap name that he's more known by is Most Def. He grew up in Brooklyn, New York, born 1973. He was growing up in that area where there was a big gang culture, and he didn't want to get involved in that. So he kind of turned to the entertainment business, where he was in school theater, he got into acting, and then later on he got into rap and music. In 1994 was when his rap career started. He joined a temporary rap group with his siblings called Thermodynamics. And then after that ended, he was in a rap duo with Talib Kweli called Black Star. And after that, he became a solo artist, and he's had acting roles and solo albums throughout his life. Movies that he's been in include The Italian Job, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Be Kind, Rewind, and he also made appearances on the show Dexter. And at age 19, he took his Shahada, which is the Muslim declaration of faith. The reason why I want to talk about him is because he's also labeled an activist, because he talks about social issues like police brutality, the idea of American exceptionalism, and the state of African Americans. And I just find this funny because you label somebody an activist just because they talk about the truth and what's actually going on in society. In that case, everybody should be labeled an activist, because I think everybody should be aware of what's going on in the world and they should talk about it. I admire him because he's not afraid to break down that barrier that most celebrities, rappers, musicians, actors, they won't break down. They want to remain unbothered and not acknowledge anything outside of the realm of celebrity. It's almost like once you become rich and famous, you refuse to talk about or sympathize with anybody making less money than you, which is why I like him, because he talks about these issues that don't directly involve him, but he talks about them because he cares about other people. He did this interview in Manhattan with 92nd Street Y, which is apparently this cultural institution and community center. I just want to include some quotes that he said. He said, "The will of the people is the only thing that changed anything, for better or worse. It's all about people's belief in themselves. What happens now is people feel intimidated, discouraged, and then apathy sets in, and people go, I would change it, but my efforts are not enough. But massive changes like that are usually stimulated by a small group of very dedicated, determined people. And then everybody kind of catches up to them, so I'm very hopeful." He's obviously talking about when people want to make the positive change in the world, but they're discouraged before they even start because they don't know where to start, or they don't think that they'll make a big enough difference. So he continues, I think there's only one perspective of things being shown anyway. I think if you depend on the larger media for views, your perspective, and news, then you're going to have a very cynical doomsday worldview. But I don't think they really reflect how people are really feeling. In my travels and conversations and interactions with people from all types of backgrounds and places, they want good things for themselves and other people. And then he says, the circumstances have been a lot worse for us in times before, and we've overcome that. Black men should not feel discouraged or let down as if they're facing hopeless odds. You have to find somebody great, study them and what they did, and the circumstances surrounding them. Study our history and the amazing things we've done in all areas of endeavor, not just sports and media. We've made contributions in vital areas. If people try to hold you back, that's their problem. People can't stand in the way of really determined people. As with any artist, most good ideas get laughed at first. Really, really good ideas, people are extremely hostile to. That type of resistance is designed to test the artist. How much do they believe in what they're doing? And usually, the people that have the remedy are isolated in the beginning. People are turning a deaf ear because they're not like everything that's happening out there. I think that's a positive sign. There's something in that struggle that makes them stand out. It's all about being patient too. People aren't patient anymore. You will get what you deserve, you just have to keep doing what you do. Everybody's result oriented, but it's a process, even for successful people. I really like people who are different because I've always been different. I've never fit into anything. I've always thought it's better to be honest than be fake and lie and follow these trends that I don't even like, which I see like 90% of people doing. So people like Mos Def or Yasiin, I like them because they're not afraid to be made fun of, to be ridiculed, and they're not afraid of the consequences that come with standing outside of the box, outside of the crowd, and being that one person that's like, I don't agree with this, like this is weird to me. And then I find that once you do that, people start to join you. Most people will make fun of you, but there are people that will join you and be like, yeah, I don't like it either. You know what? It doesn't make much sense. So that's what he's talking about, is that it takes that one person who's like crazy enough to step outside of the box that everybody is stuck in. He had this interview with Bill Maher or Maher. I don't know how to say his name. He's this white guy who, like, I guess apparently has a show years ago, and they were speaking out on Muslim terrorists, where Bill said, you have to admit there are people that want to kill Americans, referring to Muslim people or Muslim terrorists. And in response to that, he said, most said, yes, some of them are called the police. One is endorsed by the state and one is not. So Bill says, there also can be Muslim terrorism in the world. And to that, most replies, there's Christian terrorism in the world. There's historical terrorism from all different types of sects. The Catholic Church's stance on child molestation is a form of terrorism in and of itself. They're not dealing with the root of the problem. Even if Al-Qaeda is the boogeyman, why are they upset? Let's deal with the fact that there are valid reasons to a lot of terrorist arguments about why they're frustrated with colonial imperial presence. The fact that this government has pursued its foreign interests has been meddlesome and murderous, talking about the American government. The bottom line is that Islam is not the threat, it's not the problem. You can't say that about a faith that has certain individuals who are crazy in it, and there's crazy people everywhere. So what this Bill guy is saying is that he's basically trying to shove it down people's throat that Muslim terrorists exist, they're out there, they're a threat, Islam is like this big bad wolf, we should all be afraid, run for the hills, and he's just trying to make Muslim people paint them out to all be bad people. But what Moses is saying is that every religion, every race, every group of people has those crazy lunatics, and it has nothing to do with the fact that they're Muslim. It's not what the faith is about. The faith is not about being a terrorist, which this Bill guy is trying to make it seem like. And the reason why I'm telling you this is so that I'm trying to show that you don't have to accept what these rich white people in power are telling you. Like, they're not, most of the times, they're not telling you the truth. They're just trying to give you these messages, and they're subliminal brainwashing messages, which try to get you to think these white people are good, and they're trustworthy, and that they're telling the truth, and they're protecting you, when really they're lying to you, and they're making themselves look good. They're only using positive words to describe describe themselves, and they're using all these negative terms and these single examples to paint, minority people or anybody that's not a white male Christian to be a bad person and to be evil, to be looked down on, to be afraid of, and to hate. And that's what's creating this separatism, this friction between every type of person, between men, women, between Muslim, Christian. It's also that they remain in power, they keep all of the money, control everybody, make everybody afraid of, each other. And that's how they keep their power. What I like so much about Most is that he doesn't listen to that. He doesn't listen to the news. He doesn't just get some information and is like, okay, sure, that's true. He actually questions it. He researches for himself. He forms his own opinion. Another quote by Yasiin that he said in another interview. He said, "We have a great deal of power as human beings to change ourselves and our environment. And I think that we're being tested on that. How much do we believe in our own ability? How much do we believe in our ability that we have a right, a duty to defend our quality of life? Do we believe in a system, an oppressive, murderous system, more than we believe in our ability to change it? Do we believe that we're supposed to just reconcile a relationship with sociopathic governments, rules, and regulations? We out here thinking the Wizard of Oz is a giant, and the wizard is just a frail, scared figure behind a giant curtain, projecting an image of power, and really the power is with us, in us.